Nearly 2 months after the Samut Sakhon outbreak put Thailand's previously excellent COVID-19 record to the test, a series of people are now being rounded up and arrested as the key people behind the outbreak. A 45-year-old Thai woman known as Jay Phet has been arrested for acquiring illegal Burmese migrants, getting them over the border undetected, and then sending them to the central seafood markets along the coast of Samut Sakhon province, just southwest of Bangkok. Now, we know that upwards of 12,000 people have been tested and confirmed positive with COVID-19 in Thailand's biggest lockdown since the start of the outbreak in Samut Sakhon province. It's been well documented in the past that the owners of these markets, some of them very large multinational companies, have long employed many of these illegal migrants, knowingly or unknowingly, understanding that they were unregistered and unrecorded. There was an entire sophisticated network of human traffickers who were able to provide some of the largest companies in Thailand with cheap, unskilled labour from Myanmar. Some estimates in the past have recorded the number of undocumented migrants as well over 1 million people working in different capacities around Thailand in the construction, agriculture and aquaculture industries. Somewhere along the line, despite the Thai love of paperwork, blind eyes were turned and relevant employment paperwork fell through the cracks. Normally, a flow of cheap migrant workers across Thailand's western borders wouldn't cause much of a fuss. The payments and bribes would all be handled without fuss, and bottom line, many Burmese families suddenly had a steady stream of income they didn't have before. But this time there was a pandemic, and the rise of cases late last year in Myanmar meant that some of them would be trafficked over Thailand's borders, undetected, unwittingly bringing in another cluster of COVID-19. Now the Royal Thai Police claim that Jay Phet was running the biggest human smuggling network supplying illegal Burmese migrants. She's being roundly blamed for being the culprit behind the latest outbreak, with no mention of the many people who would have had to have been involved in bringing these infected migrants quietly across the Thai-Myanmar border. According to Royal Thai Police, the 45-year-old Thai worked with Burmese smugglers and arranged for accommodation for the illegal migrants in Thailand. She had allegedly arranged for Burmese accomplices to drive illegal migrants to Kanchanaburi and Samut Sakhon provinces. Jay Phet and some of the alleged accomplices are now in detention at the Ban Quang Central Prison. Police further claimed that there were 10 similar human trafficking networks that police cracked between January the 11th to February the 11th. During that time, 29 people were arrested for allegedly trafficking migrants and another 91 involved in accommodating the migrant workers. Police also arrested 396 of the illegal migrants and seized 22 vehicles used as part of the smuggling. Meanwhile, the people who would have given the nod and wink and made payments for all this to happen downstream are currently walking free, and the companies that run these huge food conglomerates remain without prosecution. I should also finish by saying that any of the signs and logos behind me have got nothing to do with the content of this story.